Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
The understanding of the transmutation of the fields of the universe will become the new occupation of man. In a way, up to now, we looked into the skies to see the UFO. Mankind will look into the skies with the eye of the soul, not with the eye of the man. And universe and unicos is oyster. You've got to understand that with a new understanding of the fields of the universe in motion, what we call energy, fields of the universe in the uniformity of the motion we call plasma, now has to be understood. Now has to be integrated into the structure of what we call life of the man in the space. We need to bring this change in, as now mankind has matured enough in numbers to be able to bring that burden of the change for the rest. You'll be amazed in the next few weeks and months how the drug traffickers will dump and try to make the dogs and the cats addict because they can't reach their bosses. And you do the same with your cat and dog, but just buy them ahead and put them on the line the hours that is transmitted. And we have set our system that there is no hacking. Now you have to understand how to bring the two fields of your soul, of physicality, you will call the spirit, and the soul of the man, to work together. That does not need the brain cell, but it works without it, the way you shall do when you become a passenger of the universe, as your brain in this amino acid cannot exist. We don't have a brain between the earth and the sun. It's got to be part of the knowledge of man in the space that sooner or later mankind will come to understand that the totality of the knowledge shared belongs not only to man. It is the right of every citizen of this planet. And it's the right of all of us to have access to it. We don't make a game of it, we make a life of it. Keshe Foundation is set to bring that change to technology, and we will have many enemies. Those who want us not to be there, and how they can bring that condition for them not to be. Try to understand what the emotion is. Try to understand how you create that emotion. Try to understand in what condition of physicality you create the strength with the interaction of the field of the soul that gives you that emotion. And then go to your soul and create the same field of strength and interaction with the soul of physicality creates the same emotion. Then if you become mature to this, then it doesn't matter if the soul is the protector of the physicality or the physicality is protector of the soul. They work in a synchronized manner because they are both aware of everything. When you work in that strength, all the other souls of physicalities work on the same strength, then man shall not lie, man shall not cheat, man shall not kill, because I'm hungry, I need fields, and I'm given fields. It's got to be understood by majority of the people. And gradually, but all from the point of the first education, what it means to live with the soul, and what it means, the existence of the spirit, or the dimension of physicality. Our children will be educated to the knowledge of the universe from birth, the way they inherited the exposome and became paralyzed and become all the diseases they caught. It's just the energy and emotion which has brought that change. So the same shall be when the man understands this as a childhood, within the father's and mother's energy fields that has no X chromosome or Y. When the children of the man are created from the fields of the soul of the man, man shall bring no imperfect child to this world. And that time has come. And that time is amongst us. And it's the time for us to bring it. In a coming time, in a very, very short time, as we are working in the background and development of technologies, as our team have to understand it, there will be no room for vaccination. We transfer the energy of what we call the virus, which your body of dimension of physicality could be a virus on this planet, but on another planet or position in the universe is your food, to understand the transmutation from position to position. So you do come to the point that if you want to have a measles protection, you put your child this channel, this time allows this to be received as an energy. There'll be no ADHD, there will be no autism because of the mixture of the viruses and the injections of fake ways they do deliberately to them. Now, gradually, your eyes opening up, the capability and the possibilities which is now is open to mankind. You go on channel 24, and you can have as much apple as you like, but you won't pull an apple, you won't kill an apple. You want to have a lamb, you go on channel 26, you get to taste the food and everything of it, and you don't need to slaughter an animal. Now you understand how extensive this will touch you, and how satellites are needed, because the electronic satellites have a limitation of physicality. We need the soul satellite, which is of the same and transmute the same and is there to give and to exist. I made man in the image of myself. Is our creator ADHD, or is he a drug addict? None. And so should be the man. Now the man has to know. And this is the cornerstones of the teaching. This is the cornerstones of understanding the embodiment of the cosmic rays, the soul, the ganses, and everything else which goes with it. What will be the next step for you to understand the strength of the cosmic rays? Which one you need, which one you don't need. How do you attract it to yourself, and how you reject some because you don't need it, even though they're on target. Very soon, once we start these systems to go public for you to tap into, you will tell us how you feel. You will tell us, today I didn't eat, not interested. Because today I receive what I need as energy through all the channels which is set up by Keshe Foundation. We govern the planet, not pieces of land. We govern through the soul and technology and knowledge, not by the gun policy and whatever sits with it. We need your support to be able to bring that change scientifically, correctly, and with the process and understanding of the whole lot, that we do not bring the change by wars, we bring change by love and creation of new conditions. I hope you understand what's on the table today and what is the part of the teaching. The main topic and the main objective of today is we do not need intermediaries. And nobody can protect the right of the Creator when themselves are abusers of the name of the Creator in the name of Ayatollah and the rest of it. I hope you understood the teaching of today. It has come to an end, and you understand scientifically why to the abuse of the man by the religion. Unless you enjoy an intermediary because you still think, I have a bound leader, so I double in weaknesses of my own lack of understanding. Look to understand, try to find out the knowledge, and at the same time try to be precise, that you don't need another intermediary. You understand the knowledge that there is no need for intermediary anywhere in the universe. Always said, my message hasn't changed. It's for you to understand and mature to. When I said to the professors at Jeddah University in early 2012-13, when they wanted to send a student to the KF SSI, in which direction do you get your student to pray and bend when it's traveling the span of the universe and the earth is rotating and they're upside down and they're in different part of the universe which rotates itself? Where do you find your God to pray to, unless your God is within you, understanding the conduct? The message has not changed. And the technology and the knowledge has not changed. We just explain more of it and you understand it more freely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 629th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, February 12th, 2026. This is a production of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of continuous ongoing workshops. And once again, we have Mr. Mehran Keshe to deliver the knowledge of the universe and the knowledge of planet Earth as well. Please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you as usual. Wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation and Spaceship Institute. We welcome you back as usual, and we try to, as usual, understand a little bit more than before and maybe connect the dots to find what connects to what. As I always say, somehow Rick finds the right intro through the soul that connects to the teaching of today. And there is no more teaching more relevant than the intro of today to the teaching of today and what we've done last week and the week before, and what I open to you as a line of understanding the totality of the creation. If you go back onto the cycle of the human race and understanding of the what we call how systems are created and how things work on this what we call planetary system, we find out that, and we have seen that, everything in the universe has been there. And it's the level of our understanding which brings that change. How much more we understood and how much more we have to understand. Centuries ago, we worshipped fire and we worshipped all sorts of things. We worshipped statues because we saw ourselves weak. Then our knowledge increased. We became to worship individuals and then imaginary individuals, and then we came up with all sorts of names. Principally from the physical structure of the life, we understood we are on something and it's always there. We call it planet Earth. We utilize its facilities to guarantee our lives. For a time, we called it to be the center of what we ever saw was rotating around us. We called the Earth to be the center of the creation. Then we found out we are part of a system, and we became calling it a solar system. And as our knowledge increased over centuries, we found out we are part of another womb. We called it galaxy. And we found out there's a lot of us, the same characteristic in this galaxy. Then as knowledge expanded, we came to understand, oh, these galaxies are part of another structure. We called it the clusters, we called it different systems. And then as our knowledge expanded, we called it the universe. But this universe we have created is exactly the same as us in the solar system. Is another solar system within a solar system. And in the back of book 3, I explain this as unicos, where in fact the center sits the creator, and we are just as universes like cluster of moons as we've seen, like Saturn and Jupiter. So, in a way, the way we see Saturn and Jupiter, in the knowledge we gain and the systems we have, we see the dimension of the horizon of our intelligence, not the sight of vision. And now we, as a human race, have come up with a very good understanding of, in a way, we are not the only creatures on this system. So, in fact, we are this dot in this cluster of the creation, which they call it unicos, which means collection of the universes with the creator to be the center of. And with his energy, every system has his attribute as is created by his and reflection of back or interaction of with other universes. Now that we see beyond the universe to understand we are a unicos, the way we see the light of the stars from depth of the vision side of our technologies and our physical side, not much has changed. On Earth, we have a horizon line of about 17 kilometers or 17 miles, and that's it. When we look into the sky, we have the same horizon, but ends up in certain dimension and in certain directions, and we see this line. Now that we understand that even our universe is again like that solar system in a galaxy and a galaxy in solar system, in fact, when we understand the truth about ourselves, about our creation, we know one thing. As I said last week, we're sitting directly in line in receiving the light of the Creator, the energy. And as it was, now you understand, your expansion of the knowledge has increased, that do you need an intermediary to understand the work of the planet Earth? Have you needed an intermediary, a prophet, a statue to understand the work of your galaxy, your solar system? Then why does man need an intermediary in a fake name of prophets and ayatollahs to understand the work of his creator? There is no room. It's only the limitation of understanding of the man which has created this opportunity for the abusers of the soul of the man. If it was so hard, we hung the first man who said the earth is not the center of the universe. Go to Italy, you see the church is there. Now we laugh how idiotic our people were centuries ago, not thousands of years ago. It's very recent past. Now we have accepted the galaxies, we have accepted the universe. The only thing that don't let man accept is that he is connected to his creator, does not need any intermediary to understand his work, to understand his power, to understand how he's connected to it. Ask yourself, as I just said a few seconds ago, do you need a prophet to understand the work of this planet? Do man need a prophet to explain the working of the intricacy of this solar system? Why man puts a limitation of intermediary when it comes to understand the process of the creator of him, which now you understand you're part of the super. This part, the religious people will fight for you not to understand, and you're wrong, because then they cannot abuse you. To kill you in thousands, create wars and separation. Who gets his hand on the free food, luxuries, and everything else in the name of religion? Priests, private homes in the name of their family, rabbis, palaces, and companies in the private name of their children, ayatollahs buying estates beyond imagination, imams in different countries the same. Look at the whole structure. Abuser never stops to abuse and is the fault of the abused. Now that you understand, beyond is the same as what's within, does man need intermediaries? Now that you know, and you can see how you are connected to the energies. Do you pay an intermediary to connect you to the rays of the sun? To get this warmth, to get this love, to get this beauty? Then how come you need an intermediary between the creator of the sun and the man? And those who understood made tablets and hid the ones which was not profitable to them. And then, as I said, very simply, in a very, very straightforward way, to knowledge seekers very soon. What do we call a man at age of 57, 58, marries a 7-year-old child? And how do we allow it to happen in the name of religion? How do we allow a man to kill thousands in the name of God, which he destroyed the tablets of because it didn't suit him? Because he understood he's connected direct and he can deviate to abuse itself. If man does not need intermediary to receive the beauty and the rays of the sun of this solar system, how come he needs intermediary to understand the creator of that sun, which is the creator of itself, what you call the God? If man matures to understand this, then you understand why it said, I made man in the image of myself. Then there is another dimension of understanding for man to understand further. You're knowledge seekers. You seek the knowledge of the universe, the true knowledge, not the made up one by false people like Einstein, to benefit itself. There is no difference between Moses abused people and Einstein abused knowledge. They're both the same crooks. You as knowledge seekers understand, you made it, you put gases together, you've seen the color of the gas changes because it transfers energy. You have seen, and we have shown you how we make materials, replicate one because we create energy of. This should have raised an alarm with all of you. If you understand, you can transfer one to another. Then it comes one of the most fundamental points of the creation. And this will bring what I call fear to many of you to understand. You transfer in gases energy from one to another. You call it transmutation. You transfer energy in the depth of totality, and you create life within. Now comes to you a very direct question. And it's you as a human race who have to ask this question, not me. Did life started on this planet in the shape of the man? Or did the intelligence arrive and in a condition of the atmospheric condition of this planet, according to the condition of the energy, in respect to the place, time, and position, gave it the image of the man, life. And in different condition of arrangement becomes animals, trees, and the rest. We talk about the creation of essence of the soul of the man. Did it start from here? Or if you understood the transmutation as there is one replicates in the other, was life created in another part of the universe? And in creating, matching an environment was created on earth. Are we truly in essence of the soul from this planet? Or we are replication of transfer of energy within the plasma of the universe and the unicos matching as matches the others. In fact, if you understand this, comes to one point that are we all the reflection of each other, which totality of the creation creates the creator. We spoke about transmutation. As we have seen, scientifically, you can replicate, produce another entity in another position because you create a condition, which means we created a condition on 10, 11, 12th of May in a concrete building behind lead glasses, gold, silver, and you took it home. The energy was there. We created a condition for it to manifest. So the energy of the soul of the man, is it from this planet? And isn't it just because it's transmitted to the direction of the environment has taken the shape of the man? Today's teaching kills a lot of taboos, and it makes you individually to do your independent investigation of your own soul and nobody else's. And then the most funny part is that you're 20, you're 50, you're 80, you're 100. Soon the shackles of the fields of this planet will release you in the dimension of the soul of the man. Where are you going to be? And what are you carrying from this planet? More killing, more destruction, or the love of the Creator in the dimension of interaction with the fields of His universe? And would your soul create another mayhem of the fallacies of the prophets for the new generation of your soul to understand that they are connected to the Creator and they don't need no charlatans in the name of ayatollahs, mullahs, priests, rabbis, and the rest? We don't say anything. It's you who have to understand. Independent investigation of your own soul, your own knowledge, and how, if now you understand there is no intermediary between you and the Creator, how you access the knowledge of the universe. Now you understand from the beginning what I tell you. We are the universal teachers and not prophets. Position of the universal teacher is far beyond, above a prophet. A prophet is there to make a prophet. Teachers are there to give abundantly unconditional. How many times you went into the classroom in the university and the teacher shared his knowledge with you and he said, pay me for it? How many times you gone to school and every time teacher told you something, said, pay me for it? Teaching is the freedom of the knowledge and the beauty of the Creator in understanding the totality, the needs of His created. Man does not need prophets. Man needs to understand the process of creation. And this is what it is. Next time, when you see a religious man, put this in front of it and see how he reacts. You become antichrist, you're against Mehdi, and you're everything else because he cannot rob you anymore. Then the whole structure pivots on you and the strength of your own understanding of your own creation. And then if you understood this, you understand transmutation is the beauty of understanding the totality of the creation. Now, it has to be easy for you as knowledge seekers to see the structure of the creation. But unfortunately, on this planet, you have to live. You create something to keep your physicality busy, a job, something else, and the rest of it. Till your soul gathers enough energy that it has a value to connect itself independently to the Creator. That is the day of judgment. When your soul judges itself, I'm there to reflect the beauty of the Creator in me, that I can create more, that enjoy that beauty of understanding. Soul of the man, which is tainted with killing, will not go that far. Now you have to understand. Man and a woman, soul and the soul of physicality, Creator and the man. Does not change what name you put on it. The two have to be in tune. The two have to be accepting each other's. Then it leads to creation of new direction, new life, new understanding, in creating new dimensions with it. In the future, man will ask a fundamental question. For that, we answer you directly when the time is right. And that question is, where did your Creator came from that created this universe? Where and what is a fundamental creator of magnetic field, that their interaction leads to the creation of the plasma that within becomes without. What is within it becomes without attachment, what we call detachment. Then man needs to understand. At the moment, you will struggle to understand a simple principle, and the whole mankind and ayatollahs will kill you for you not to accept and understand this single line. When man understands this single line, then man is mature not to be abused, and with clarity of the soul, he will understand the totality of the creation. Ask yourself a simple question, and I'll repeat it until you understand. Did man needed prophets and magic to be connected to the atmosphere of this planet to create rain? Did man needed magic to be connected to the rays of the sun? Did our sun needed magic to be connected to its central position of galaxy? Were there any prophet connected to any of these? Now, why does man needs abuser to connect it to what connected all these together and led to the creation of all these? If you do not need a prophet to receive the rays of sun, why do you need a prophet to receive the rays of the creator of the sun? Unless you allow yourself to abuse. Now you understand how close the teaching of today is with the intro which you listened, which was recorded years ago from the same teacher. This is why we are called universal teachers, because we understand the creation of the universe and we are not abusers. This is why Keshe Foundation has no temples, because it's not the religion. Religion means abuser. And those who abuse, they humiliate you. They abuse you for you not to understand, but they laugh at themselves. How easily we can abuse this. One day I'll give you an example how they abuse man through his lack of understanding. And now you understand how you've been abused. Ask yourself a fundamental question. Did you need a prophet to receive the hydrogen or the air of this planet to live? How to breathe, if he allows you to breathe? Did you need a prophet to allow you how to receive the rays of the sun? How to receive it? Where to receive it? What to do with it? Because he knows better. Then why do you allow the rays of the creator to have an intermediary? Unless you'd like to be abused. If you understand this creates an emotion within you, that emotion wanting to be part of the rays of the creator brings you to the position of the emotion of the creator, allows you to transmute in any dimension that he transfers his energy to. Unconditional to all created within its creation, within the unicos of the man. The reason this is important is the Jews are waiting for Mashiach. The Muslims are waiting for Mahdi. Christians are waiting for the return of the Christ. To create with the dream of never come, that they can abuse forever. But if you understand, you tap into the energy of the universe to the creator, then you don't need any of the fallacies. Maybe Mitra and Rashta did not do their job correctly to teach man the truth. Maybe mankind needs to mature, and this maturity of the man in the cycle, as we receive energies which led to the creation of the man on this planet, our knowledge, our suffering of the time will transfer to the other created things by transfer of energy, that they do not suffer the same as we do. They shall not kill. They shall not do a lot of things. Now you understand where the teaching of the Keshe Foundation goes. For you to understand this process, we extend the knowledge from the universe to the unicause and the creator, and this is so simple. But you had to be made ready. It takes time to change a bent branch back to a straight. Man has been bent so much under different restrictions and religions that he's forgotten how it is to be a straight branch and bearer connected directly to his trunk, to his creator. Let them hang us. The truth does not change. Now you understand the principle of creation and why I always call the prophets and their hierarchy a bunch of charlatans, using the weakness of the man. And those who tell you there is something wrong with the Keshe Foundation, they're the second line of abusers, because they still want to abuse you. You have everything. Don't believe in nothing which is within the Keshe Foundation. Understand the structure of the creation. When they tell you you're wrong, there's something wrong with this and that, it's back to hanging the man who said the earth is not the center of the universe. But this time, individually, you're getting hung because you understood. You become that man in the church in Italy. Pay a visit to a inclined or declined the Tower of Pisa in Italy. Near there you find a church where they hung the first man, who gave the same message, but it's proven to be right. Now you have the same message. Needs to be proven by you and nobody else that you understand. The purpose is not to understand how directly you are connected to the Creator. The purpose is that you understand that you are connected to the whole of universe and the whole of its knowledge. Everything within it, the way you have intuition to understand everything to do with this planet, with this solar system, you have access to the same knowledge. But you have to know, as they say, to which frequency to tune in to understand every knowledge that you are looking for. Every knowledge, hidden knowledge, which is not inside of you, you have to create the right energy for it to tap into. And then what you say, I've been enlightened. Because this is what you want to do. This is how you want to do. There's a simple question to ask yourself. How come a child born learns languages, thinks in that language, and it speaks in that language, and it dreams in that language? Do the dreams understand the language? And if you understand that part, do you need to dream in the language and speak that language? Chinese dream, language, emotion is slightly different than Hindu and then English. Exactly the same as different position of the inertia of this planet has created men of different races and colors. There's no difference when it comes to the soul of the man. You have to tune in, understand the totality of how you became black, Chinese, white, or the others. Then you understand how your soul understand the knowledge of different parts of the universe according to what you want. And then as you speak English and then you learn Chinese, you understand the soul energy of a man or existence in another position of the universe, and through emotion you carry and reach your destination of transmutation and the knowledge of that point. It says, I made man in the image of myself. It is not the legs and 2 arms. It's the understanding that I possess the whole knowledge of universe within me. And so man does the same. It's for man to understand how to connect. You bend, you touch a toe and say, this is my toe. You touch your finger and says, my finger. And you know everything about that toe because it's within you. So is the knowledge of the universe, and your toe is another million years galaxy light in another position. But it's still connected to you because you're part of it. Your heartbeat connects you to the rest of your body. The soul of the Creator connects you to the rest of the universe. Do you need intermediaries and charlatans? Now you have to understand the position of the man and the new understanding of the process of creation. I hope today you understood a little bit more about yourself than the teaching of today. If you understand my question. We go for a break, we come back, and I hope you understand fully what the teaching of today was. Not to make you not to believe in religions, but to make you to understand you need no connection to receive the beauty and the warmth of the sun as the same as you receive the beauty and the warmth of the knowledge and the existence of your Creator. Just because you couldn't see does not mean it doesn't exist. They made you that way, that they can abuse you. We go for a break, we come back, Rick, and try to answer some of your questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you. Well, okay, quite a lovely teaching there today. And thank you, everybody, for being here for the first part of our 629th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And we'll have a short break with a recording of the products that are come out recently from the Keshe Foundation store, the plasma resin products. And we'll play that. And after we come back, we'll have an opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Keshe, and our attendees can raise their virtual hands, and then we can open your microphone so you can speak. And otherwise, you can put written questions into either the webinar chat or preferably the Q&A, or in the chat in YouTube. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Let me get
Yes, these are cosmic ray. They're what we call materials, which we have launched as packages before in different what we call occasions. And now we are releasing these on a what we call continuous basis. These are all what we call resin product for different occasions which is coming up. They'll be priced in the next day or so, hopefully, and then you should be able to purchase it directly. We do not do the what we call the packages as we used to do, like a Christmas and a New Year packages. These are individual pieces, and if you go through all of them, and then you can see what it is. And it's per occasion. You can what you call order per piece, then as we did it in 500 and 250 and 1,000 packages. This way, every individual person can choose. They are made of different mixture of what we call cosmic ray and gases. And it's a new, what we call a structure, which goes with this one. I'm sure in next day or so, very soon, you will see a launch of a new pen, what we call the paint pen, on the same structure. It's not plastic anymore. You actually hold the whole direct contact with the material. The new, what we call cosmic ray paint pens are a solid state. What it means in the present paint pens, you have a plastic container which still filters energy between the body and what is to be taken out. Now you actually hold directly the two energies. You create a closed circle. And these are the new extensions of the energy systems which we have put out. And you will see it. It's been sent to you, but has not been what we call put out or priced out, but it's part of the new product range which the Keshe Foundation lives there. You don't need necessarily to buy it for Easter because it's a rabbit. These you can buy it as a decoration and put it in the house for transfer of energies. And they all have confirmation, because we had a lot of problem with people transferring like cosmic, what we call ray materials. But now as a resin is inside, is within. For example, in the past we had a problem with paint pens in some countries because of the liquid inside it or whatever, could not be done. Now is a resin. Anybody around the world can buy the paint pens, and this is part of the structure of bringing in peace, bringing in what we call happiness into the house, change of the energies. You just put it as per item, and this allows us to be able to transfer a lot of it. You have a child which is sick, we are developing technologies to be able as a toy to bring that change. Children don't like to take medicine. We'll be coming the same way. In the coming months, as part of the Keshe Foundation reorganization, we will receive documentation and materials worldwide licensed for the first time for the viruses, which means we'll handle through a structure how to overcome the viruses in a way it does not exist in the world of medicine. And this will become part of our structure of the work. And you will see massive amount of pictures and items which will be continuously be added to, and we try to keep it in a way workable for all of us in so many ways of understanding how things work. You can use it for Valentine, and you can make it for Easter. But at the end, at this final point, is how we enjoy connection and the understanding of the use of the energy field. In the next couple of days, we already made this offer to some of the retailers. If those are in the retail side of the Keshe Foundation, have access to charities or whatever, that they can give the resins freely in the hand of the what we call people who need it. The Keshe Foundation has set up a structure to support that. And all the what we call our gel packs as of this week, you will see, will be reduced to 10 and 20 euro per pack, depending on the size. And we have a large number of the pillows which we went through to restructuring of the Keshe Foundation, changing the pillows to $29.99 for some, for the small ones, and to $40.49 for the larger one, that we can move a lot of things out of the way, that we can accommodate the new changes and the new product range which is coming into the structure of the Keshe Foundation. So in the next few days, look for what we call the Keshe Foundation pages and see what you want from it and what suits you. And everything will be priced down to come in through. There's a lot of other more products which is already being produced and will be added to this range. And it's mainly to change because we understood a lot of people have problems even in partnerships, that they want to change the environment of the house, but the partner is allergic to this and that. These are decorative items, they will do the same. You have a child which is disturbed, this does the same. Put it around the bedroom. We've done this in different ways, in different trials, where we just leave the bottle of gases and people don't like to see this. This is a decorative, but does the same thing. The size, the shapes brings the dimension of the change, and then it's for you to see how things done. In a, what we call a structured way, we introduce new materials, and as I said, we are looking for what we call resellers of the products of Keshe Foundation worldwide. It has to be a continuous, not just buying order for me to buy and just for what I want. This is a new product range, our manufacturing site for distributing, and new product range will come, which part of it will be high advanced technologies.
Okay, that's our excerpt from previous workshop, but it describes some of the new resin products that have come out recently. Okay, Mr. Keshe, we're now into the second part of the program, and how would you like to proceed?
Yes, thank you very much. As usual, these products you've seen, some of you have placed large orders, some of you have placed a few orders for these things. We try to get everything as what is in the stock will be sent, and the second batch will be the end of what we call March, which will go, we see what the demands are, that they can be reproduced again for that order. There's something that a lot of knowledge apparently has been or have not noticed. There is a session this Saturday, 14th of February, what we call the Lover's Day, the Valentine Day. If you want to join us, we are testing something to see how we can change your emotions, or what I call intention of emotion, with loving. And this is important for us to change human race, and it's something we are testing in the background, especially this, what we call this week. On Saturday is one of our monthly sessions, and if you like, you can join us. Go to the registration and sign for this Saturday, and for us to see how things are and how we can change and influence the emotion of what we call the people, and how we can bring what we call the emotion of love, the emotion of understanding. And in so many ways, it's part of the process of development of the Keshe Foundation transmutation and transfer of energy. So if you are still believe in the love of Valentine, you can join us and see how lovely we become. In respect to major announcement to knowledge seekers. We are looking for knowledge seekers for the immediate transfer who have expertise in plasma technology, gravity, and understanding of the lift and motion. If you work for organizations or you know people who work for organizations like NASA, Iranian space agencies, Russian space agency, or you work within CERN, we would like to employ you to join one of the most advanced labs in the space technology within the next 30 days. We don't want knowledge seekers who test things. We want professional scientists, professional engineers who have expertise in space technology, who have expertise in international defense, who have expertise in gas and distribution of gas and communication, wireless energy transfer. PhDs, university graduates, undergraduates from anywhere in the world. We are not looking for enthusiastic knowledge seekers. If you are researchers in agriculture, know exactly how to gather data and to make a project of it. We are looking for that caliber of people. You will be working within the structure of the highly developed structured research, and we offer initially 2 years guarantee employment by Keshe Foundation. Space technology, understanding of the plasma, gravitational lift and motion. Scientists at the level of CERN, because we know some scientists from CERN are on the move. We know NASA scientists are on the move. We are prepared to talk. And your employment starts immediately. Within the next 30 days, 60 days, you can move to position. You understand and have a good understanding of agricultural data gathering, processing. We are looking for immediate employment. You send, as usual, your request, your understanding to info@keshe.foundation. We are looking for knowledge seekers with the knowledge of AI and computer programming and software. Very advanced level. Those of you who understand the work of cryptocurrency, those of you who understand the work of a network that can operate internationally. We are looking with the immediate effect of employment. If our team agrees that you can be part of and you have the knowledge you carry to be part of. We're looking for knowledge seekers who have a deep understanding and process of gas production, not in just ordinary levels. Everybody can mix, but we want those who have innovative systems, technologies for gas production. We offer 2 years guaranteed employment within the structure of the Keshe Foundation. If you have any of these or you know any of these, get in touch with us at info@keshe.foundation. You have to have qualifications. You have to be certified for what you apply. We are looking for advanced communication engineers, understanding transmission of the wireless those who understand the work of the space defense technology. You'll be working in one of the most sophisticated space programs. Full employment for 2 years, and if proven to be capable, the contract will be extended. We are looking for those who can retail the products of the Keshe Foundation worldwide as resellers. You have to be able to support yourself to start with, and then the new products of the Keshe Foundation will be made available. You're responsible for that nation and what comes out of that nation. We already have in a number of countries resellers, but we're looking for resellers right across the world. In any country, any position, and you receive the same discounts. But as usual, you have to be able to pay for your products. You get orders, you sell, we deliver, and the usual pattern. We are talking in the resale of very advanced technologies which the Keshe Foundation within 2026 will offer into the what we call commercial part of the Keshe Foundation. If you're a knowledge seeker and you have agencies for things like electricity, gas, automotives, you have a car showroom, and you're a knowledge seekers, we are looking to invite you to join us for, as part of your dealership, to sell the new structure of the automotive to be delivered by Keshe Foundation in 2026, 2027. We start now that we have enough people around to be able to do. If you are head of an international company or organization which influences and have retail direction in different countries or in one country heavily, we are interested to establish a connection as a reseller with Keshe Foundation. We are ready to bring the Keshe Foundation technology across in a different way that you're seeing. This is one of the reasons we are keeping reducing and clearing out the stock, as we are moving our what we call process of retail into a totally different level. Any stock will be offered by Keshe Foundation in the new process will be at least 1 million items in a stock, which in a way can be repeated, can be delivered, not to be waited, as has been, as we learn with your support. We rely on the knowledge seekers to support us to go through this transition. On 21st of March, we'll make an announcement which will change most of your lives in a very different way, but you have to register yourself through Keshe Foundation structures that you are here as part, as first stage. We still ban citizens of Belgium and Ghana to join Keshe Foundation in any shape or form. Do not use VPN, because when we ask for your ID, complete certification, and you are from Belgium, you'll be blacklisted forever to join in any shape or form, even when we draw the system. And the citizen of Ghana. You got to understand, Keshe Foundation in 2026 is becoming one of the major operators in energy, space, automotive, and agriculture. We will change this year everything that you are used to in the past decades, centuries, and a new understanding, which will come in line with what we have shown, we have taught. Thank you very much. And I hope you can support us the way you have supported us up to now. We need to go through this phase to break and change the course of humanity. Register within the foundation structure, which we have announced, that we'll explain to you on 21st of March what it means to be and how it will change your life. And it then is your decision how you want to move and how you want to change it. If there are any questions, we are prepared to answer.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Keshe. Once again, I'll remind our attendees that you can raise your virtual hand. We do have one hand up here from Micah, I believe is the name. And we can start with that. We've got questions also in the Q&A and elsewhere. So let's get going on that. Go ahead, Micah. Would you like to open your microphone?
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Can you say who you are and where you're from, perhaps?
Yes, my name is Micah Green. I live in British Columbia, Canada. And greetings, Mr. Keshe, Rick, Universal Council, and knowledge seekers across the planet. My question today is in regards to the Hawkins scale of consciousness. According to the scale, fear and desire vibrate at 100 hertz and 125 hertz frequencies. Whereas you go up the scale, love vibrates at 500 hertz, bliss and peace at 600 hertz, and enlightenment is 700 to 1,000 hertz. Might one conclude that this scale is like a template of the pathway to enlightenment and the creator, and that pathway is through love and bliss and peace?
Hello, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you hear the question, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, but can you clarify more? You must have thought a lot about this to raise such a question. It's a beautiful question. But
should we have a look at the Hawkins scale of
yes, we can.
or consciousness?
Yes. You bring that in the background and please explain more.
Yes, well, I mean, when I look at the scale, it starts kind of down at what they would call so-called hell or shame and guilt, and then the emotions, as you go up at higher, the frequency rises. And so, yeah, I guess I just thought that was kind of like almost like a scale of a pathway. We have to go through these different phases or emotions on what I would call the game of life even, to reach those higher levels of consciousness. And I guess the highest that you can get before enlightenment would be love, bliss, and peace.
Go back in understanding that what you see as a spectrum of the frequency has to have a resistance. The denser you become, the material become, or the emotion become, the higher frequency to penetrate. That's all it is. Frequency is a penetration strength, if you understand it that way. Why do we need higher frequency to penetrate into, let's say, enlightenment? And why fear has a lower strength, frequency? And then try to understand why and what fields of creator into the intermediary reaction to the fields of the creation, position, and the strength changes to fear. Understanding that to reach to what you call initial frequency of the creation or a creator, do we go towards a zero? Or do we go towards millions in hertz? Then it comes another understanding why and what changes the frequency. We create these frequencies by the matter state machines. But is the frequency different if we use a plasma system? This is what I said in the teaching of a couple of weeks ago. Are you a ray or are you the wave? Then it brings you back to another point of the knowledge. Why they tell us enlightenment needs a higher frequency. And what brings physical reaction needs a lower frequency. Fear, being afraid of. Being loved is somewhere that partially is physical, partially is emotional. You go into 500. Then you have to ask yourself another question, is that the fields of the universe are all DC, have no frequency. It's the space of time, density of the fields that creates that frequency. And the frequency, if it's given the right environment, becomes a matter state of the time, place, and position. If you create the right frequency in a combination of frequencies, you can create fear. We do this now, the scientifically is done. But is the frequency of fear within the body of the man, plasmatic or matter state created? Is frequency of fear inside the cell of the man, let's say 100? Don't think so. Man is measuring from outside, not inside the cell. Then it comes to understand even the aura. Does our aura dictates our intelligence? We never measured these things from the field point of view. This question raised for me a long time ago when, if you remember, the girl called Nella and the test we did with in conjunction with the University of Tel Aviv and Cambridge University about making the system and one writing the program for it some years ago in Liège University in Belgium. Are we measuring the emotion of the soul inside? Or are we measuring the what we call the field strength of the physicality of the brain that creates that emotion? Then, as I said in past few hours, we need, Keshe Foundation needs to bring in scientists, knowledge seekers, which can make new measurement systems that measures the strength of the field of the plasma of the universe and not mechanically generated. Then what you ask is actually what in past few days has been on my agenda, to find scientists who can bring new measurement tools. If you are instrumental, somebody who knows, can create instruments, we need to. We like to bring you in to work with us to develop systems which can measure the strength of the plasmas in the dimension of the real life, not man after interaction. This question was raised years and years ago for me. How come Faraday box works one way, and how come Professor Miles works the other way? It's the same material. What decides the penetration? What decides the frequency? When you pass through a material, you have to have a frequency. Why? You can make a Faraday box. And our knowledge is to answer this. We have made nano-coated Faraday boxes in our laboratories. We have a few of them. But do we need frequency to transfer through nanomaterial? Or if you produce because we nano-coat in the center is a matter, we need a frequency to pass that matter state to get to the other side of the nanomaterial. And then at what position we can penetrate the cell of the man? Why, as you say, the fear is so easy to vibrate through the cells. Isn't it a sense of survival? Because when you have a fear, you run, you create a physical motion. When you have intellect, when you have love, you sit there and enjoy the time because you feel it as an emotion. You don't run like a rabbit out of saving the physicality. Why physical motions are sitting in the bottom range, and those of the emotional wavelength sit at the higher level? Man has created to be alert first to save the life. Fear creates reaction. Danger creates a reaction. Because you have to save that physicality, otherwise there's nothing left for you to have the intellect and the love with. Man has chosen this dimension of the frequencies for the survival of the physicality. And when you look at the position of where the fear in the brain is, and then you look at the structure of it, you see the structure of the brain is different than where intelligence, emotion appears. Because with emotion and intelligence and enlightenment, you need to absorb the full spectrum of everything. Otherwise, you just know one thing. You become a professor in idiocy. But when you understand everything, you're enlightened. And you have to understand the fear, the knowledge, the love, everything else. The higher frequency. And if you look at the structure of the brain, this exists more to the center than outside. The more physical dimensions of your brain, physical dimensions, fingers, hands, arms, control, sits all on the periphery of the brain next to the skull. We know that, we use it. The more important part in the structure of the physicality of the man goes more to the center. It's a copy. Sorry, Rick, I'm going to take this away from you and bring it back again. I do apologize. When you look at the structure of the brain of the man, I'm not a very good sketcher, as you know, over the years, the most useless painter. Your hands and your fingers are here. This is your ears. Your hands and fingers are here. Fingers are here. Hand is here. Your lower arm is here. Your upper arm is here. When it comes to your shoulder and your heart and everything else, you come to here. This is why when you have a heart attack, when you have a stroke, this goes paralyzed because the energy from the heart hits this part, and this gets your fingers to twist and the rest. So the higher energy, the denser energy sits here, which carries the intelligence, enlightenment, because you're near the soul. Your physical part, fear, to survive, to protect this, sits outside. Need the lower because the higher literally is absorbed. And this has an interaction from outside, which interacts with the lower energy. Cold, fire, brings you fear, so you run. If you understand these things and analyze it in a true way, you understand why you need the higher frequencies. Because the high is already filtered by the center. You get a brain of what do you call a lamb, and or brain of any animal, and you cut it. Cut it by feeling it, not cutting it, just cutting it. Let the knife drop in, and let's see how you feel the weight of the knife. This is why the brain of the man is different colors. Every brain is different colors. The density of these brains is like your liver, your kidney. You have the same thing, a structure here. It tells you how dense it is and what frequency it creates. And you see where does the denser part sits. It's here. I have tested because you have to, I always said to understand the man, we have to understand everything about the man. We come to these situations like Earth and we become teachers, but you cannot become a teacher when you don't know. You want just to bring somebody something from outside and enforce it. You have to understand what's the culture, how you can transfer the knowledge to that culture that is acceptable to. This is why we taught for 13 years, 12 years, 20 years, and now we put the truth on the table. Because we have to understand the man. It's taken us thousands of years to bring the man to understand his stupidity with the name of the prophets, that now he can see the truth, because man chose to go the wrong way. And the brain of the man is the same. I have tested many brains. You feel the emotion of the animal, which part is what. We make the structures to understand. And this is part of it. Then you understand why is the lower energy, because you have the lower frequency sit here. You have to protect this thing, this slot here. The emotion of love, where it's in the brain, where it sits. But even that, you have to understand the structure of physicality. Why you have that? Why do we fall in love? Why do we fall in love with different things? It's the most powerful emotion of love, which connects the soul with the physicality. It's in between. That's why it sits in the 500 range. And most of the time, if you get it right, loving someone in the correct way is the best way and is the most correct way. Doesn't need physicality, doesn't need the soul. Creates its own dimension, which is more pleasurable than both. Man has not understood the gift of loving, and this has entangled, as I said, the creator of itself. Look at the range, understand it. You go from the soul, let me clean it out that you understand it. If you look at the, if you understand it, you're increasing the frequency this way. Fear, love, and then enlightenment. And from the soul, you go here enlightening the soul, and then you become more physical, you become the physicality. And somewhere into the balance. So this is your love. When you fall in love, it's the most beautiful feeling. Does not matter what you love, because you respect the existence, the physicality, as much as you respect the emotion of the soul. This is why we give up, because the emotion of the soul takes over our physicality. It doesn't matter, because we know we've got something much stronger behind us, which comes from the center. And the lesser dense, the deeper the emotion of the soul reaches. This is how the creator radiates. And when you come on the other side, the higher you come in, you need the higher values to penetrate through. If you understand what the frequency is, and you understand when you need a frequency to be. You need more energy to cut this than this. This is a free flow. You need to repeat it more. The phase of this is that much. That's its bandwidth. Phase of this. How many of these you need to cover this? Which means you need extensive material. But which way you go? And secondly, our systems are matter state still measured. We haven't measured the frequency in the plasma state. And this is why we have the what we call gas technology and knowledge of the light. I hope I answered you as best as it could be done.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
Okay, again, I'll remind our attendees here, you can put up your virtual hand if you would like to come forward with a question. In the meantime, we have in the Q&A, let's start with Lisnu has a question. Says, first, thanks a lot for all the work done. It brings clarity within me. I noticed that as religions, the medical field, especially psychology and psychiatry ones, are extremely abusive with human beings. While they mostly become like that because of the abuse being done to them from their early ages. They tend to keep patients in suffering for both material benefits and confirmation of existence of themselves as healers. The society pushes them as dictators of some approved rules. What can or will be set up as a condition to fix this madness? Thanks again.
Ban the universities. Who teaches them? When you put a physical structure, man relies more on that than accepts abuse than when you leave it open for man to understand the natural process. And this is where again plays another game. And the universe is a part of it. If man now gets to a point that uses an intuition and its inner energy, man will survive. Man will understand, does not need anything. If you look at what the way we're heading with, like for example, AI, and we are building systems, physical systems, robots or whatever, to do this, the only thing which most of these systems will not ever carry in a full understanding of, even though our technology puts it in much closer to it, is the full emotion of creation. And this is where all these systems fails. Emotionless system will be defeated, because the emotion is the cornerstones of creation. And this is where the problem sits. You can replicate as much as close as you can, but you cannot never reach it. And that's where the man will win over the dual intelligence game played. Emotion. No matter what, you cannot replicate it. It's not a chemical structure. It's a field structure which itself creates its own matter condition. And mechanical system robots will never be able to do this. Then you understand more in more depth. As I said, as we explained in the past 3-4 weeks, we entered a new dimension. And maybe if man matures enough, by the time I like to get it there, I'll take you within the soul of the Creator to understand. Then you see the beauty of the creation. At the moment, you just understand you're connected. You don't need intermediary. If you mature enough, I'll take you inside. By this means, you see the mechanism and the way the soul works, the creation works, and how your soul in the future becomes a creator of life. Where does it get it from to become? And then you understand more. In the coming time, as technology develops and our scientists understand more, we will create a field that you walk into it and it gives you what you need from the energy of the fields of the emotion, even subconscious emotion. And then you understand. You cannot show electronic systems to a child of 3 because he has no understanding of it. Even that the system works and he plays with the computer to use the electronics. So is the man. Man is that 3-year-old child. Even the systems are there, you don't see, you don't know how to use it. It's how it works internally. One day I'll take you inside the soul of the Creator. And you understand. Any other question?
Okay, thank you. Question from Renzo, who says, good morning, Mr. Keshe. Fear is located in the gray matter and has a fairly precise frequency, resonance, and energy. I had a stroke 110 days ago. I have now recovered with the use of plasma fields. Thanks for everything you taught me.
If you understand it, you can. There should be, as we say, there should be no paralysis with the new technology. Keshe Foundation in the coming year 2026 will open an operation to this effect. That will demonstrate the works of it. We are already setting up the systems for it that are what we call a wellness application, a medical application will be registered through rapid response without side effects, which will cut through all these FDA certifications and the rest very, very quickly. And you will see the first stages of these within the next few months. This is where we show these things. Why should a man suffer? Why should an old person suffer with the old age and the pain? Till the soul satisfies or receives enough with the soul of physicality, man does not need to suffer with the physicality. And when you take that suffering away, the life extends. You will see this as a product in one of the major countries in the world in the next few months. Trials has been done, and we go through stage and most probably through certification of it. That the physicality does not need to suffer. And as you said, you with a stroke, you have seen yourself recover. We already done this, and this is what we can do, because we've done it over decades. There is something very interesting. I was explaining to a diplomat very recently. Iranian scientists, when become nuclear physicists, the worst thing to be, and we have to kill them. Iranian scientists, when they show a path through medicine and they can grow brain and take somebody coma, is the worst thing. You have to destroy them. This is a philosophy and the path of the Western world, and it has to be destroyed. Capitalism is the backbone of this. Destroy that we can earn, destroy as much as you like. One of my closest relatives, who, because of the position, even though knighted by the Queen of England, was appointed or invited to become a board member of ethics committee as a medical person in one of the most advanced nations in the world. After a few weeks, resigned. I asked why. Said, Mehran, they are creating operations to earn money even though there is nothing wrong with the patients. In the hospital, which is one of the most advanced nations in the world, they are creating fake diseases with the patients and operations to be able to be paid by the insurance companies and the people, even though it's not needed. They open and close people for nothing, just to earn money. This is not medicine. And this is where we are stuck with. And you have the knowledge, you understand the knowledge, and in a way, you were enlightened enough to help yourself. And this should be the same with every man on this planet. And this is the purpose of our work. What you say you've done, I did to dark fluorescence, 2011. 2010, he had a stroke. He gave me the poison, but he drank the poison and he caused himself a stroke. He said to me, I see stars walking from one cafe to Quicks, which is Belgium equivalent of McDonald's. And then that was it. I had to meet him the next day in one of the most advanced hospitals, twisted arms on the life support with a stroke, twisted everything else. 6 weeks later, I had to take him out. I invited him for lunch. It was the first day out of the hospital because even his family would not take him out of the hospital. Sat in front of him, put a spoon by a spoon, food in his mouth because he couldn't use it. A few weeks later, he typed like a rabbit, book number 2 and 3, on his computer, designing the pictures you see. Knowledge is a gift, but when it's Iranian, it's the biggest crime. We bring this practice to an end very soon. So you help yourself is exactly what you should with everybody else. Cancer, stroke, any other disease. The soul has to accept it. You can do anything you like. When the soul doesn't accept it, you cannot do nothing. Cancer will kill you, stroke will keep you paralyzed, and everything else. The light, the enlightenment has to come within. Then, the cancers are just the tools. Any other question?
Paulo had asked, will simply upgrading human software without touching the hardware allow humanity to eliminate killing?
This is part of the process which as knowledge seekers you have started. Don't hate people. Let them hate themselves. You cannot take away. You can always make it available. It's the way the Creator works. His love spreads the whole of the universe. It's man who takes it and changes it. Any other question?
I have a couple of soul questions here. One from Ike says, good morning, Mr. Keshe. Like you said, we humans are transferred energies or souls. So is there a limit in the numbers of these energies, as in how many times would our souls get transferred in this lifespan? And what's the end goal or purpose?
Purpose is simple. When you're in other field, what I explain to you, understand easier. When you send a radio wave, it's a radio wave. It goes out. Nothing. If you put an aircraft in front of it, it reflects back and it says, I'm here. But it comes back in different frequency or different wavelength or whatever else. There is no sign of that wave going out unless it's reflected back. And this is what the creation from the Creator is. He sends a field of what we call whatever creation. And when he sees something, absorbs some of it and then reflects back different energy to confirm I'm here. It doesn't come back exactly in the same energy and the frequency or wavelength. In a way, not only the plane is there to reflect, to confirm the existence, but it's there from the source to say, I can send something and then get it back. The creation of the soul of the man is that aircraft. To receive from the rays of the Creator, absorb and reflect back to it. And in that process, you absorb some of it that is so big, so powerful, and that gradually you absorb more and more, the more you feed back, depending on the color of your absorption, as our friend said, gray brain spot, and what they reflect back, then in interaction with others, leads to creation of next cycle. So, creation of life, the purpose of life is for the Creator to confirm His own love and His own existence. In a way, it tests to see if I made something, if my system works. That's all. But in the process, you absorb some of the energy which comes. When you get more energy, you become a sun, you create life, and then, next cycle, till your energy in a certain given spectrum dilutes. This is how stars become, let's say, explode or disappear, or the black holes. Their energy is become balanced with their environment to extent. You call it the white dwarf, you call it redshift, or whatever you call it. Knowledge has no name, it's just to understand. So it's very simple. As simple as that. Your soul, you're born, your soul is created, that when he finds a new position to say, hi, I'm here, and in that position, the shining of the light of the Creator on you leads to him receiving confirmation of, I still receive love. That's what love is when you reflect back, because you're giving. And then you absorb some of it, which starts a new cycle of the bigger fields of himself back to himself. In the way, as I said in one of my talks years ago, God created the universe and all the objects of it for them to reflect back to himself, that he gets confirmation of, I exist, and no other purpose. Any other?
Well, it brings that question to my mind in terms of, you mentioned earlier today in your in the first part, the emotion of the creation of the emotion of wanting to become rays of the Creator, I believe is what you said, or something similar of the Creator. And it's important to create that emotion, as that it leads to the emotion of the Creator. Now, could you explain more about that, and how can we experience, get closer to experiencing that emotion, because it seems to be the direct connection that you spoke of. And another part of my question is, how did the first emotion come about?
By accident. You see, you call it the frequency of the love. And love, to our languages, when you give. Why you have that 500, for example, between the 0 and 1,000, that love is where don't want to ask for a new page, it's easier to clean up. This is your brain. It's got what do you call it? MS. It's not very nicely. You radiate from the soul at the frequencies you're talking about, from 0 to 1, 1,000. And then you have this. You know where the weight and the mass comes when we talk about creation of the weight, when the magnetic or gravitational become to balance type thing, and that is at 500, around 528. This is where you touched by, you receive back, and in a way, it's a reflection, and does reflection back. This is the region, the borderline, and around about 500, where the emotion is equal both in or balance with the soul fields and the environment, or what touches you as energy of another person. It's not 525, 528, is a bandwidth of the fields. This is why we love different things. One is 528, 1,000, 521 millionth, and the rest of it. So the emotion of the love is varying in the bandwidth of, depending on the cycle, the energy, the emotion comes from the energy, comes and what goes from outside. The Americans love to kill. No nation loves more to kill because they don't exist than the Americans. We see it now. Killing, if you got American blood with you, is a victory. We kill and we are powerful. This love for them sits very, very further than what we call, you come to an Italian with the romantic life. This is 527 for the Italian, is 530 for the Americans. And this is, it's a variance, it's the balance, is where we say where the magnetic field and the gravitational field of a system balances, creates the surface of the planet. The boundaries are where I can share and receive, lead to the creation. We call it the surface of the planet. That's all it is. So your brain, your emotion comes where frequency comes from, where the two can reflect back both sides. That's why you fall in love. And if the frequency at this level is the same frequency as your heart, which in a way balances with the soul in another dimension, then the heart touches, physicality touches, and it's your bandwidth of your love, where both sides resonate at the same strength. This is why we love with soul, with heart, and physicality. And what it means, this comes in, reflects back, we become a giver, the soul is satisfied, and the heart is satisfied, and da-da. If your frequency of your soul, not your physicality, is at this strength that it touches this, you fall in love. You feel it, you emotion it, and physicality, you go for it. And it's never wrong. And man has same soul, the same physicality, have a different spectrum of 528.0001 is loving a dog, 528002 is for my children, 5000 is for the wife, and then the fear, my managers, my mother, each one says a different thing. Spectrum, that's why we love different way, different people. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Let me go back up to the top here. We have some other soul questions from Jeff, who says, I have several questions, please. Number one, can Mr. Keshe explain more about our souls connecting, coming from or originating from another system across the universe?
We are connected to all the fields of the creation. We are not immune to it, we are not special. And we are a zigzag. We are created out of zigzag of energies which goes through, and the atmospheric condition and the field of this planet absorbs certain fields. The rest goes through it. What the scientists call neutrinos, we've never seen it because it goes zip. And so we are not something special. And we are all of us, are within the soup of the, what I call the fields of the creator. It depends which part of the soup we sit. Make a lot of meatballs, put them in the tomato sauce. Is there any difference between the meatball, which is at the bottom of the pot, and the one is on the top? And somewhere when you're boiling it, gradually the bottom one comes to the top. That meatball is the soul of the creation, the man. The heat, the love, the temperature, whatever, comes from the bottom up. It's in the center of it. Now, one of the things which is very funny, years ago, I said, if man could make a spherical pot, now we have the Chinese box, which is, what do you call it, half of the sphere or a quarter of a sphere, because if we could make a pot which cooks from the center and everything in is all around like another circle, it would be a fantastic creation of souls. Because the pressure and the energy from outside will push what is the heat from inside. And you find out nothing needs to be cooked. Nobody has ever managed to build such a thing, but to sustain this energy. The closest we come to is some of the nuclear reactors. But again, that's the field contained and contaminated with it. Something very interesting, totally relevant to what we're talking about. We have put a proposition to both the Iranian government and the Americans in solving the problem with Iran nuclear technology. Iran is prepared to negotiate to sell its nuclear material to the highest seller, not dictated to be given, but to the highest seller with the full supervision of the IAEA and the independent monetary system, which means the Americans can't take all. Who get bids higher will take, because beneficial to the Iranian nation. We spend billions on it. Same time, we are prepared to negotiate to produce uranium as 2, 3, 4, or 5%, but become the supplier of the raw material as a base material to the rest of the nations. Iran is prepared to negotiate on these terms. We are prepared to consider diluting our material to what we call fuel grade for power stations, but to the highest bidder will not be given allowed. But this gives us a ground to become an international supplier of nuclear material based at 2, 3 grades that the others can use for power stations or energy development. We saw the boycotts and everything else, and the Americans are prepared to talk peace on commercial basis. We are prepared to negotiate Iran nuclear technology on the same basis, but as a new developers of the raw material. We mine it, belongs to us, we process it. Like the Africans do not let their gold go out as ore, they now process themselves to get more benefit. The same will be with Iran, with one proviso. When we sell the fuel, as once you use a gold is used, when you burn the gas is finished, and in the European countries buying gas from Russia goes as much how much energy electricity produces at the end of it, the nuclear material sold by Iran will carry 20 years of life. A percentage of what it produces has to be returned back to Iran as a contractual basis, as intellectual rights or whatever you call as a supply rights back to Iran as international asset. Our call goes directly to the White House. We are prepared to negotiate on these terms. This will become, in response and understanding of the both sides. We are prepared to give up or not to give up. We become supplier of nuclear material to the Americans, the Japanese, and the rest, when the proviso that we are prepared to go down to 2 to 3 arrangement, 4%, 5%, but as supplier, not just for Iran only, for the rest of the world. French are short of raw material. We have it, we process it. You can buy clay directly with materials. This is the biggest peace offering will be made by Iran, and in that process, the fear of missiles becoming nuclear will go away, and missiles are not negotiable. This is the voice and the conditions we are prepared to negotiate with the American side, as we consider Israeli irrelevant into this except warmongering. You can return your answers to our negotiation team in Doha or back in the United States. Is there any other question?
Okay, yes, Jeff has a couple of other questions here. Question number 2, are the souls non-human in a human form but unaware?
What?
I think he's referring back to the souls that might be originating from another system across the universe. Are the souls
are being, no, souls are being, they decide what shape they manifest themselves. Non-humans. Everything doesn't finish with the humans.
So
the soul is the energy pack, yeah.
Okay,
if
so
you, sorry,
go ahead, sorry.
if you manage to create the energy, not just all energy, but the structure of the energy within a system of a cat, you'll create a cat. You don't need to clone it. We do that with gold. Didn't you see it in May? We create the soul of the golden brain's gold.
Okay,
it's
well,
just creating the condition.
It kind of leads to question number 3, which is, if everything has a twin, so where is the other half of the creator?
That's the question, which answers in 2 ways. When you transmute, you're in a condition of transfer. The soul of physicality sits within the structure of the soul. When the soul moves outside, like body of the man, in interaction with its environment, has to manifest itself in what you call it, showing what it is. That's what happens. We have a soul of physicality, egg and the sperm of the mother and the father, and when they come together, they create a soul. And then that soul of physicality is still there with the interaction between the two and the fields of the womb of the mother, which has its own condition. It has to have 2 legs, 2 arms, that it can live in the atmosphere of the bigger world, which is the atmospheric condition of the earth, leads to manifestation of the child. But as long as you do not match the what we call feel the strength of the soul of physicality and soul of the man, the child is not born because it does not manifest itself. This is the period time at the moment in the world of science. They're saying 6 weeks, 8 weeks of 10 weeks of ingestion. So does not need to manifest itself to confirm its existence, as is in the form of the energy. We see universe in the form of energy, and then you see the soul of the creator, which is the soul of the man, and all the created things are within his soul, so it doesn't need to have physicality. But the question goes back, where did this come from originally? What is the egg of the creator and what was the sperm which led to creation of the creator, which in the world of the fields, not in the matter state, has a totally different meaning. And then you don't have the physicality to confirm physicality. Then it comes, what joined together that it made the creator such a huge amount of fields that it leads to creation of the universe. The riddle of life in the universe will take man millions of years to understand, if he ever understands it totally. When you travel with the physicality, you die, and your soul takes into the space of the universe. It still carries part of the field of your spirit, soul of physicality, but has no dimension of manifestation till it meets a position which matches its field of strength, and then it manifests itself. And then the soul of physicality has to show dimension in respect to the environment, and then you see the soul changing position with the soul of physicality. And we are in that stage. And you need to bring, to create higher, to lead to the creation of unified fields, which is the soul of the man.
Okay, well, that brings us to the 4th question from Jeff, who says, what about the creatures known as jinn or demons? Do these things exist, and are they active on this planet?
Demon to who? Jinns to who?
One man's demon.
Maybe we are the demons and jinns to them.
I was going to say one man's demon is another man's God.
It's very interesting. I was just watching something very interesting in Iran yesterday or the day before. They made one of these, and they put the nation back by 1,000, 2,000 years. They burned this on the street. We're going back in the culture than going forward in understanding. Go on the internet, you'll find it. They actually put the statue of this, what we call jinn or whatever, demon, on one of the streets of Iran, and they burned it. I've never seen this before. Why do you burn it? And they put the flag of Israel on top of it to burn with it. The nation is going backwards by thousands of years. Any other question?
Well, let's move forwards with a question from Zoe, who is interested in the cosmic ray twinity maggrav that we had a picture of earlier in the workshop, the blue box, basically. What are the greatest benefits of this product? How should it be used and maintained?
They have run some sessions with these, and those are the people you can ask. The people in Austria have run some past sessions. Ask those people who've been there and how they use it. It has a lot of things for people. It's done a lot of, for some, has created a lot of emotion because you twin with the system. In it, there is a structure. Actually, there's more advanced system of these coming out very soon that connects with you as you become like a twin set. You're part of it, you connect to it and it connects to you. And it's also these units have only to be used by one person. In a way, you open a way to receive higher order fields or to be in the environment of the higher order in the matter state and the plasma state. That's what it brings. A lot of people see things because they get enlightened. They receive it. It's just like you have more energy, you can run more. You have more in the environment of, and then you see, it's opening up a vision. You don't get fat, but in the real, the cloud goes away. You got to listen. I've heard a few people who've used them and what it does, or what they have has changed in them, what they've seen. It's a tool, but you have to be part. You should be able to connect to. A very more advanced version of this will come into the market very soon. Any other question?
A question from Andrea about the Keshe Foundation.at site, and about we should register for Varian at the Keshe Foundation.at. What does the full members mean? That the knowledge seekers choose the right membership?
These are part of the structure of the Austrian regulations and rules. You can participate in the board meetings and everything else. Read the association charter of what do you call it, of the association and the Austrian association. It's legal terms within the definition of the government association.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's detailed in rules and regulation of association of the Austrian organization.
Okay. Question from Paulo says, great Professor Keshe. Science is done by exploring discoveries and verifying hypotheses, right? Do you have a preference for one of these paths? Could you also tell us which path is best for a knowledge seeker?
Everybody has to choose their own. We cannot recommend.
What about the idea of exploring discoveries and verifying hypotheses? Is that your technique, or would you say you follow a different path in your lab experiments? I'm thinking in terms of lab experiments, and he's thinking in terms of how science is done, and whether you have a preference for a certain path of
no, we understand. Our path is understanding the work of the universe, and not what do you call it? Not
that's always at your central core. So you don't have a particular while you have, certain effects and outcomes and so on that occur, of course, but your main thing is keep it as close as possible to direct to the source. Keep out.
Working of the system. The working of the system is important. And somebody copies magnetic fields and they make generators. Some people copy and do making God knows a system for life. But if you can do the same thing through the fields, energy, the working of the universe, then you don't need to make the matter state of it. But we make tools to bring you to see that position of creating the fields of the universe. We use the matter state to confirm the existence of the energy in the real plasma condition, not in a man's condition of electricity and the rest of it. That's the difference.
Okay, well, speaking about electricity, we did have a question from Nujan, who says, hello, Mr. Keshe, thank you for your contribution to humanity. My question is, Cuba is currently under a fuel blockade by the US. People and factories lack gasoline and oil. Electricity is cut off everywhere. In my opinion, this is a good opportunity for plasma technology to demonstrate a positive signal, perhaps just a household energy generator that will become, just a second, symbolic, letting many people and countries around the world know about alternative technologies, such as plasma technology that can generate electricity without oil in the future. Please tell us your opinion on whether this is feasible at this time. And I could also add that, for example, Canadian flights to Cuba have been stopped because they don't have any fuel for the jets to go home.
The answer for it, I think I'll get back to it earlier on in the second part. We have to make, first of all, Cuba is not the first one. We saw it with Venezuela, we seen it with Iran, we see it with the African nations. America is abusing its power, and soon will be shown that has no power. You will understand we have to be very, sitting outside the touching side. This shortage of electricity is not exclusive of Cuba, it's not exclusive of Venezuela, it's not exclusive of... In America, the Canadians you stop energy going south unless they pay the money for it, and you create some chaos in the American side. The most, what we call underdeveloped nation, bringing others to develop it is kicking on those who developed it. This is what the bottom line is. Let me see that with Cuba. In the very near future, I wrote to one of knowledge, actually not knowledge seekers, but somebody who's trying to set up a structure of the production for Keshe Foundation this morning. We will release technologies as a commercial structure this year that man does not need no gas to buy and no electricity to purchase. It's not a solar system, it's a cosmic ray system, and our people are setting up and working to that direction. The only problem is once we release these technologies, they'll be copied heavily. And you got to understand when you say sending fuel to Cuba or gas to another country, they can do. We shown this to the same as now they're playing with the price of gold and silver, and we can produce tons of silver and gold, as you've seen in China last year. We have technologies we can produce as much gas as you don't need. You have technologies that can do lift and motions and the rest of it. This year, 2027, starting within the next few, literally handful of days, Keshe Foundation is setting out to bring the total technology of the Keshe Foundation under one, what we call workable unit. Our team, starting next few weeks, will set out to develop a system in that how we produce gas, which we have shown to the Chinese Gas Corporation in 2023, and the academician abused it. We shown the production of the material in China. We have shown the production of water. When any of you went through our system and you were flooded and you created rains and everything else. We are integrating all the technology of the Keshe Foundation within the next few days, coming up weeks. That's why if you heard earlier on, I asked for your specialty. If you are specialized, you have a degree, professor, whatever, join us. A system that is a central integrated system, produces water, energy, lift, and everything else that can be handled by every nation. No one can boycott no one anymore. We estimate the first hundreds of thousands will be out within next year or two. When you make it available, it'll be there. It's not that we make you energy and do energy. What happened to our energy gas system? The minute we talk about, so what happened to energy? You have to wait, because now it's becoming the knowledge of how we produced gases becomes the fuel of the space technology to move, and then how we manage to create carbon-14, that becomes the structure of building the structure, communication, and what do we call it, the rest of it. So it's like we built the radiator, the engine, the seat, the carburetor, and the cooling system. Now it's time to put the machine together. 2026 is the time when we put the whole of the Keshe Foundation technology together. And it's not a talk. Those who are around us, they know we have already started the process in a massive scale. And you will see coming up. Then do we need, can you boycott the energy, the line to carbon-14? Can you cut the energy to hydrogen? Can you cut the dynamic structure of the plasma to create the water? No nation can boycott no one, and the matter state will have no value. It's not something we talk about, because when you helped us to understand the work of the fields, the emotion of it, when we offered you different systems, now the communication system, all comes together. Now we're going to production of the most unique system man ever know. Do you need cars which have engines? Do you need going to Africa, digging out and bringing material to America to melt it, when you can produce the material 100% pure on the table? Then you understand why there's a need for cash coin. Nations, people will deal with each other according to the pleasure of existence, not the need of existence. Man should not work to exist. Man should exist to work to enjoy the Creator. And this is what we gradually put out. We done tests for years, and this year you will see all the technologies of the Keshe Foundation, all the parts of the car has been done, tested. Now we are putting it together to be assembled. Then can we boycott? And then our proposition is very simple. Our term, our finance terms, our technology terms No need for governments because we'll be governed by ourselves in a very correct way. Nobody can steal. Nobody is more powerful than the other because we all eat from the same pot. And the process for this has already started. It's not something we're going to start. As many of you, I'm sure you heard, the Japanese have destroyed the platinum and everything else that the big companies, corporations were waiting for. They have come up with a battery which charges 5 minutes, 1,000 kilometers, and it's just made of aluminum. What happened with not selling rare earth material? Japanese have shown it last week. It can be done, but still you need an engine. Do we need a battery? What about if you put the limitation on aluminium? Nobody can put the limitation on the hydrogen. But in a way that the containment itself is contained by its own structure. The containment of hydrogen is carbon-14. Do you need a material when the fields can control? Then do you need a car? You need an engine in the car. All come together. This year we start putting all the pieces we developed over 20 years together to produce. And we are moving the scientists to do so. And you heard us earlier on. We're asking for experts to join us. The biggest cooperation on this planet is on the verge, not on the verge, it's already started, it's taking shape. Microsoft, Google will be peanuts. The total assets beyond the total assets of the whole the nations put together by its own structure for all mankind, not for one person. The promised time is 26, we deliver 26. Any question?
Okay, let's see here. Oh, we have a hand up with Marinez. Marinez, would you like to go ahead, please?
Hello, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Good day. I have a question.
Yes.
Could you please explain simply what the Enlightenment is? Does it have degrees?
Understanding. According to your intelligence, and intelligence has no limit. You cook in the kitchen, and then you say, why don't I mix the egg with the tomatoes because they do this and that, and then why don't I mix together this with the banana, it'll do this and that, and you come up with something new. That's enlightenment. You come up with the new dimensions where up to now you never ate the banana with the tomato and you never knew what the effect will be, or the same with whatever you put in it. It's understanding of endeavoring to understand what are the new limitations. But it can be anything. Knowledge of creation, knowledge of medicine, knowledge of agriculture, cooking. When a man pushes the limit, he gets enlightened. He wants to understand what are the boundaries, how much more I can do. Not necessarily physically, but even understanding how much more I can understand about creation. Enlightenment is a corridor which has a very, very long one, and it has a single switch per point. You have to switch that light for that point to see to go to the next steps of corridor, otherwise you'll be walking in the dark. That's what the enlightenment is. All the lights doesn't open all the way to the end for you to see. It's for you. The light is on. If you have a different vision of different lights, it's all the way lit according to your sight. Which lights, how deeper you can see, it's the same thing.
Yes.
It's exactly the same. There's nothing. What depends, somebody says, oh, you can't put this switch on because, and then you don't touch it, so you don't get enlightened. What about if you jump that and go to the next light and it comes on, the guy's got no control over it. That's what enlightenment is, just understanding more of. And
So
how it has no limit.
so it goes by degrees of.
No, but the level of your own intelligence and your own limitations.
Yes. And then is it temporary when the person reaches enlightenment in one thing? And
Temporary
then,
for that point of understanding, yes. Or permanent because you don't want to move anymore. There is no limitation in enlightenment. Is the man who puts it.
yes, thank you. You opened some doors today as far as prophets, because I think that prophets have done their job at the time, and now they are outdated because there has been so many changes added to every message. So that becomes more disguiding instead of guiding. So it's liberating to know that with your knowledge, we can start from scratch and independent from who says what about what religion, etc. And it's very sane at the same time, like nothing to regret, because at the same time we replace with the knowledge of creation.
You see, when you look at religions, doesn't matter which one, were created to save man, but nothing has killed modern religion. More men have died in the name of religion than anything else. Nationalism comes second to religion. One form or another, more men on this planet have died and killed in the name of the religion. Does not matter religion if it was in the name of the emperor, because he's taking a point of position of people believe in it and worshipping it, and then you have others who became imaginary. It takes me, when I decide 1 minute, 1 sentence to abolish Islam, using Quran, nothing else. It takes me the same minutes to abolish Christianity, Judaism. But what do you do with a man who lost their hope, what they believed in? Unless you build a structure that they understand there's a bigger picture. If you listen to the teaching of past, especially 2 years, step by step, I've dismantled Christianity in a very different way. You can see it. The same with Judaism, the same with Islam, the same with the others. It's just you don't want to hear it. People are not open to understand. They, now maybe the teaching of today, you have access to the origin. Why do you build people in the middle of it? Even those were supposed to keep you straight. In Islam, you were supposed to bring to unite peace. 300,000 people killed in 1 day in the name of Zoroaster. What is the peace in it? In the name of Islam, We just paid a bunch of Iraqis tens of thousands of dollars to come to Iran and kill in the name of Islam 300,000 Iranians in past few weeks. What is the name of the religion? Is it peace? No, the same. It's just about one nation. What happened? The Christians did the same in Crusaders' time. The Jews did the same thing in their time. Did anybody has killed? If you go by the ratio of the man in the environment, has anybody killed more than Moses? He himself, in the percentage of population, killed more than anyone else in the history of man. So, do we need religions? Or are the religions just made up to abuse the man because it's a profitable market? So we leave the man to be enlightened, the man, we teach the man about the creation, that the man walks as fighting takes too much. You make too much enemies. But enlightening people, understanding, they don't need, when you understand the truth, you don't need to go to mosque, to church, to synagogue, to whatever. Then there's no money to run. A few people will be there and gone. How many religions have disappeared because there's nobody believing in it anymore? We have that the recent one in Iran, Bobbies. How many people believed in Bob, and then gradually nobody believed in it. There's no, do you know any more Bobbies left as a religion in Iran? No, gone. And it's the same. The knowledge enlightens the man, and the man decides himself. And our job is teach the knowledge. We are not religion, because religions, there is no reality about religion.
I think the man has always reached for something higher than itself, some kind of soul connection, something that gives him more force and gives peace to his material life. And then sometimes it was deviated, most of the time, because man has always had this greed and love of power, which no religion survives. And now that we learn with your teaching about the soul, about creation, about soul of man, and the power of soul of man, I think it just replaces all those needs of man to get that knowledge and peace inside, and also gives the man another mission to kind of either teach or having this knowledge to elevate himself, give some peace inside. So it's just replacing all those non-functional, all the time teachings of soul by a soul teaching, which is kind of scientific, because you can create devices with it. So it should be kind of technology. And it's the right time for it, because all other religions are subdued by power and greed, love of power, love of greed, and no exception. It seems like man has not changed spiritually, really, just getting more information and internet. So I think it's the right time to succeed this time. And because there would be no special power to give to anybody, but our own soul and our own power. You said, if you are detached in your need, when you have a need, you can create what you want. So why do we need all these intercession of people and gods and mullahs and other things, spiritual teachers to teach us? because we can create what we want if we take care of our soul, as you taught us during these years. So I feel like that's the right time, and I hope humanity doesn't miss this time, because everything is ripe to get this fruit out of the tree of knowledge for humanity.
It just depends how we would like to do and how fits the others to be. I have a very, I put this to diplomats in the past few days. We are Iranians. Nothing to do with Iraq, nothing to do with Israel, nothing to do with everything else. And how come our negotiating team is a man which carries the name Araqchi? He's from Iraq. How can an Iranian negotiate just for a nation of Iran unless there is something in it for them? Do you understand?
Yes.
This is
Amazing.
the
It's amazing that he's in power.
which is the hypocrisy of religion. How can an Iraqi negotiate with Americans for the best interest of Iran unless it's in their own best interest? We have not a single Iranian, true Iranian, in any of the negotiations. And then it tells you how religious works, how people accept these kind of positions. And this has wondered me a long time. We see the same. How many, you watch how this ISIS group are arresting native Indians to show us you're Indian and put them to prison. Guys, we were here long before you come. We have allowed abuse. We have allowed people to abuse us, and why? Threats or whatever. So we have to see, we have to understand. Goes right across. If you remember, 2 years ago, I told you the war between Ukraine and Russia is a religious war. Have you seen what's the proposal of Putin? The last, but the most important thing which is connected to it is that all the religious positions of the Church of Russia and Ukraine has to be returned. What do you call nationalism has got to do with religion. Stuck his head out. Read the final negotiation papers. Do a government negotiate for a religion? So religion was started to go the whole of the war. And it's the same with everything else.
Yeah, I hope it finishes well. And I think maybe at the end, man learns something, I hope.
This year, next year, thanks to knowledge seekers who are creating the conditions for us and the guidance we get from all the knowledge seekers around the world, which are setting us with us this structure, the financial gain, the material gain, all will come to a very nice halt, because it's not done by a corporation, it's done by the soul of people. We see it, the birth of the cash coin, and now the peace game, the enlightened games, and the creation of the different technologies which all come together, and then gradually moves to the next step, which is the enlightenment of the souls of the man. This is one of the purposes we work this way now. With this on ends, when we bring the souls, many of you getting enlightened in different ways, is the story of the plasma. Slowly, man gets what he needs, that man become peaceful. This is one of the problems. And gradually we are moving in that direction. It takes time. Ignorance creates religion and beliefs. When you're enlightened, you don't allow, you're not ignorant, so you see the truth. You don't let religions to dominate you. And you have to understand the truth about it, otherwise it all goes from one thing to another. I saw the truth at a very young age in Firuz Bahram. I understood the message. And nothing deterred me from that day. It was very strange. You were born in Iran, you know, we always had a religious session. You had to have a, want to call it, Diyanat. You had to read Quran or whatever. It was teaching Quran. It was compulsory. In Firuz Bahram, religions are all respected. So for that reason, as I said before, you had Muslims in the school, when you came to the religious session, had a mullah coming and teach us. Zoroastrians went to the priest came to teach them. Christians went across the road to the mosque, to the church. And Jews were the only ones, because they were not in many, there were a handful of them. They had to hang around and have a playtime, because they couldn't go in any of the three. And I thought, how come they don't teach each other and separate each other, because they're all making money out of each other and because of the opposition to each other. When the religious time was finished, we were all there, Jews, Christians, Muslims, and the rest, all playing together in a way, forget about what the guy said in there. We all friends, we ate from each other. And it was very funny, because the Jewish boy, the Muslim guy, the Christians were all, the boys were getting invited to each other's house. It was a birthday, it was going playing football. And in these families, religion had no meaning. Mehran was there, doesn't matter what his background was. What Jewish Yusuf guy come, Joseph, he is there. The mother doesn't look. If it's just a friend of my son, they come, they play, and they go. And I saw how easily, with the love of our lives, children, we forget about religions. So religion doesn't exist, it's us who allows us to abuse us.
Yes, I remember also in my youth, we had friends, colleagues of my father who were Jews. We were going to their house, and the other one was Armenian, Christian, which were neighbors, and there was no difference, nothing at the time. And I wanted to say also, I noticed in dangerous places, for example, here, people who are in the coast and fishing, and in the sea, which is dangerous in the north, they are more religious. They have their own prayers for the fishermen to come. Maybe it's the misery of man who brings it to needing some other force to protect.
Fear of death, fear of loss.
Yeah.
Fear. And if you can use that fear to your benefit, you're done. You know, we lived on the coast of Italy for some time. And I lived in a village literally on the coastline. 10 meters, I was in the sea. And in these villages, one small village had 3, 4, 5 churches. Little towns right across the coastline. And I explained to knowledge, because if you remember, those of you who were with us that time, when we were in the Sansano, every Tuesday, the teaching was done by the lake, the Garda. It wasn't in the structure we set up. We always had lunch together. We sat out, 10, 15, 20 of us. Knowledge seekers came from all over the world to join us in that Tuesdays. And this small villages had so many churches. And I explained to knowledge seekers, you see, the guy, before he goes out, goes and gives something to the church because it's the fear of dying. He comes back, he gives something from his fishing to the church. And then while he's away, his wife goes and gives something to the church that he comes back alive. And then when the sea takes him, for the rest of the life, they pay to the church to keep his soul alive. So is a bank, the guy doesn't need to do anything, just build a fake church and the rest will come in. People pay you for it. Doesn't need to be a religion. And they built 3, 4, 5, 6 churches, very good ones, in their village, because each one believed in, I set up a church, you pay me, and they have nothing to do with each other. And now they don't have the priests. The business is so good that they sell these buildings to the Africans, and the Africans collect money to find a priest to go to Italy or to Belgium and then take a seat, because it's a good company. Money making out of fear of people now is become a business. They sell it to the Africans. And I was seeing how many of you are Christian going to churches in Germany, Austria, in Belgium, in France. You have black priests. It's a company they sold. You take certain part of income, the rest comes to us. Religion doesn't exist. It's just a business nowadays. Doesn't pay any taxes, and is not accountable to no one. It's a good way. I wish they allowed the same thing to all the companies to run their churches. I tell you, everything would have been profitable. Nobody will go bankrupt.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time, for your knowledge and your patience. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Shall we call it a day? We've been here long enough. Thank you very much.
Yes, sure, Mr. Keshe.
I hope you enjoy yourself. I would like to say my best wishes and most luckiest and prosperous New Year to our Chinese community. I hope this year will be prosperous for all of you in the nation and those of you who are Chinese. And we hope to see each other next week, next time. And join us for the Day of Lovers on the 14th on Saturday. It's a special session. And see if we can make you lovers, or to love more in living and existing. Thank you very much. And please listen to what we requested. If you are any of those specialties fall within our limit, and you've been waiting to be with the foundation, now we are ready to move on and take people of that caliber on. See you next week, and hopefully we'll have some more to learn from each other next time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you. Okay, well, that brings to a close today's 629th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Those of you that have questions remaining, you can carry them over till next week, and we'll try to address them then. Ignacio in particular had a number of questions. I put in a link to that you can look at as an answer to one of your questions there, but bring them forward to next week if you wish. And thank you everyone for attending today's program, and we look forward to another next week. And speaking of next week, our next public teaching workshop, other than the one Mr. Keshe mentioned, The public teaching workshop will be Tuesday, the 17th, with the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, with members and support members of the Universal Council. That workshop starts at the 4 p.m. Central European Time, again on Tuesday, the 17th. Okay, we have one other announcement here from Lissy from the Universal Council, I should say, through Lissy. And it's an invitation. And just let me share that here. It says, we, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present at the earth to unifying at the soul level every time, every day at 9 p.m. CET, to give from our field strengths to enlighten the souls of world leaders, to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to everlasting peace on earth and throughout the universe. Okay, thank you, Lissy, for that. And we'll go out in our usual manner with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit. And again, thank you everyone for attending today's workshop. And a big thank you to Mr. Keshe, of course, for being here for the previous 628 workshops in a row. Always on time, although he only had 30 seconds to spare today, but he was still on time. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. That was funny. All right. Bye for now, everyone. And happy Valentine's Day.